Well, welcome everyone. My name is Ron Collins. I'm the owner of Blue Lacy SEO, and today I'm going to show you how to perform a professional website audit. Now, if you watched last week's video, I did one on a website audit also, but this one's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a little bit more in depth on how I would do a client's website if I already had a client, and how I would evaluate and audit and analyze their existing website. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, the website I'm going to audit today is just one that I picked randomly from a local site from where I live in El Paso, Texas, and I don't have any relationship to this company, but they're going to get a free audit today, and they are not a client. They're electrical trades or electrical contractor. Um, that's their business. Um, I'm going to use two search terms. I haven't done a extensive keyword uh, exploration of what they should rank for, but I'm going to use El Paso electrician and El Paso electrical contractor because that's what they are, electrical contractors. And the first thing I'm going to do is a visual check of the website and see what CMS or contact management system that they're using. So let's go over and look at the website. Okay, I got the website loaded. It's called beltranelp.com. And right away, I'm not seeing something that I like. They have a video running in the background, and I'm not real sold on this. It's kind of it kind of makes me a little bit dizzy because I'm trying to read what's on here, look at their menu up here, and it's just not doing it for me as far as the hero image, the hero video that they're doing. It's just not working for me. Looks like this video from El Paso. So let's look at their title up here: "Working Hard to Keep the Lights On for El Paso." Uh, okay, it's kind of clever, but I think it could be done better. They don't have a logo; they just have their Beltran Electrical up here in very simple font. So let's scroll down before we get up here to the menu and get out of that. They have who we are. Well, maybe that could be titled a little bit better because you want to include some keywords in this title here. So let's see. For nearly 30 years, Beltran Electrical has been providing top quality services in El Paso and the surrounding Southwest area. We pride ourselves in setting the highest standard in our work and customer service. Now, right off the bat, I don't like this font that they're using. It is a serif font which has very thin lines that don't show up very well. And I have a high resolution computer here. That's something I would change if this was my client. Have them use another type of font, maybe a sans serif font, something different from this. This is not doing it. So they say we provide all necessary labor, materials, tools, equipment, insurance, freight, all other items required to successfully complete the scope and work for any given project within Division 16 electrical work. Boy, this is a long sentence. Now, I have no idea what Division 16 electrical work is. So please, you business owners out there, don't talk in code. Talk in a language that people that are not into your business can understand. I think I would probably reword this better to include some of their keywords. Um, this probably is not the best title either. So this needs to be rethought, all of this. We get down to services we provide. Now, I think I would put electrical services because that's what they do. You want to let people know exactly what you do, and you want to let Google know exactly what you do. Now, this looks like a slider. It is a slider. So it's going through design budget, new and existing construction, and then I got to wait for another one, safety, and I don't know. It looks like you can't click on this area where the wording is, but you can click outside of it. So let me click on. Well, I clicked on safety. Um, that's not the best way to show your services. Beltron Electrical believes that safety is always a top priority. I'm not going to read all of this. Talking about health and safety. We provide OSHA 10 to 30 hour course, fall protection safety training, trenching and evacuation, CPR, scaffold. Well, okay, that's great, but I would expand on each one of these items, expand on these a little bit more. You got plenty of space here. You got all the space that you want to use. And down here, this looks like the companies that they work for. So it looks like they do a lot of commercial electrical work. I don't see anything in here about residential. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. So let's go back. And I mean, I guess you can click on here, but I don't like this slider showing their services. They could have done this better. Employment internship. And then we got this, I'm sorry, I got this goofy video running again, but it's smaller. Beltron Electrical is proud to support our community if you're looking to become a licensed electrician who want to join your team. So there's an employment internship, and this is a huge button, apply button. So I've never seen one that big. Join our team. Again, they got that video running again. I guess they like it. So here we got employment, apprenticeship, and this has got to be the biggest call to action button that I have ever seen. This is huge. Please download and fill out our application. They have a map. So let's go to the application. So this is a Microsoft Word application. Doesn't look like you can fill it out here. So you're just going to have to print it out, it looks like. And then mail or fax it to them. Okay, so. All right, let's go back up here. Let's go to services and services we provide. New construction, existing. I think what I would do is have a separate page for new construction, a separate one for existing. Well, let's look what they have here. New and existing construction, whether you're starting from scratch or remodeling your existing building, Beltron Electrical has the knowledge and tools to complete the project. So there's some other text. Then they got dark sky compliance. I have no idea what that is. Government, private, city, county, educational, medical. I would expand on each of these items and talk more about it. Maybe have some more pictures on here of them actually doing the work or the construction sites or exactly what they're doing. This may be a stock picture, maybe not. I'm not sure. So let's go back and look at design budget. Okay, from concept to completion, Batron Electrical can help you design a project that works for you. Pre-construction services, value engineering, retrofitting, lead, LEED, I don't know what that is. Prefabrication. So they assist in budgeting during design process, system design, AutoCAD. Now, people may not know what AutoCAD is. It's an application. CAD is computer-aided drafting, and the only reason I know that is I used to teach drafting and architecture, so I know about that. Other people may not know about what that is. Retrofit, lighting, upgrades, lead. I don't know what LEED is. Value engineering. I don't know exactly what that is either. So again, they can expand on each of these subjects here on this page. And it looks like they don't have a footer on here, which is a little bit strange. So let's go back to services again. Safety. We looked at electrical maintenance and testing. Beltran Electrical offers preventive maintenance programs for new and existing electrical distribution equipment. Infrared grounding, arc fault, flash, UPS generator, phase rotation. Now, you may not know what phase rotation is. UPS is not United Parcel Service, I can tell you that. Arc fault, you know, a lot of people are not going to know what all these terms are. So, again, I would expand on each of these terms, what they are, what they do. More information. The more information, the better. Join our apprenticeship program. Apply. Another giant button here. So you can't miss that. Then they have this on every page, so maybe this is their footer. You know, it could be. Okay, so now they have services way over here. I would put services up here on the left side, but Summer Spark program. Due to COVID-19, we regretfully have suspended applications to it. So they accepting CET electrical students. So this looks like an application for a summer program if you're our electrical student. Currently enrolled in electrical vocational program, at least 18 years old. Okay, so email your application, bring it in person. Well, it looks like they have a video, so let's take a look at the video. Hopefully it's not too long.
Metro Flores.
Me llamo Alexis Mantua. Me llamo Ryan Macías.
This program was useful because you get the hands-on experience you can't get at school.
Este programa me ha ayudado a elegir qué carrera a qué voy a estudiar después de graduarme de la escuela. Okay, lo que aprendí, pues en la escuela sí me enseñaban así como a apreciar y cosas así, pero no tanto así como acá, y acá aprendí más a doblar pipas, las plogas y todo eso de los partos y los planos que cuando los vi la primera vez no le entendía nada, pero ya por todos los días y me enseñaron cómo de las luces y todo eso y ya aprendí mucho, la verdad.
I recommend this program to other students because you don't get this type of hands-on experience anywhere else.
Boy, I'm not getting this flashing polka dots. That's really annoying. But overall, the video is pretty good. Yeah, it looks like it was made by a company here. and so it's made just for Beltran Electrical. I guess it's their apprenticeship program, so it's pretty good. Um, if you're wondering why some of the interviews they're speaking Spanish, we're in El Paso, Texas, which is about 70% Hispanic. But it would be nice, the students that are speaking Spanish, if you had some English subtitles down there, that would have been nice. But overall, that's a pretty good video. So they did a nice job on that. So we got employment. Join our team. Again, they love that video, that aerial video. So again, a giant call to action button. And then about us. And who we are. For nearly 30 years. This looks like the same text that's on the home page. So this should be different. You don't have duplicate text. And maybe a little bit more, maybe another picture would be good. Okay, did we do contact us? No. Okay, here's they showing a picture of employees in front of the trailer. I think I would have picked a better trailer. I don't know if they painted Beltran this way or it's just faded. But it looks like an old trailer. You can see some rust here. I would have picked a better background. And maybe had a little bit more contrast to the white text. So you got a form to fill out. Again, I just have trouble with this font. And it's very light. I don't know how this is coming across on the video. I haven't looked at it. But it looks very light and it's a little bit hard to read. And then they have their map. You can zoom in. Okay, so that's it for their website. I think there's room for improvements there. So let's see what content management system that they're using. So we're going to go over to whatcms.org. What CMS is site using? So we put in the URL, and we detect which content management system you're using. They're using Squarespace. Now this is a do-it-yourself website builder. And out of all the do-it-yourself website builders, Squarespace is probably the best. So I'm not going to fault them for using Squarespace. At Blue Lacy SEO, we do all of ours on WordPress. But if you're not familiar with WordPress, it's a little daunting to use. So they probably built this themselves. And they did the best that they could. It's not great. There's a lot of room for improvement. But if this was a client, I could work with them within Squarespace. I wouldn't make them go to another CMS like WordPress. Okay, so let's go back. And our next step here is check the number of pages indexed by Google. So let's go do that. So we're on the URL here, and all we have to do is type in site, without any spaces, and press enter. And it looks like they have 13 pages that are indexed. Home page. This one's called dashboard, but it's about services. So I don't know why these are two different names. Apprenticeship, but they have employment. Design budget, safety, new construction, existing, about us, location, social, home hero banner. Okay. Contact us, but it's called book your stay. That's kind of strange. Summer Spark Program, electrical maintenance, about us, but they called it, in the permalink, they called it our history. So let's look at their title tags here. Their title tag for their home page, Beltran Electrical, that's it. Look at all this space out here that they wasted. So I'm going to talk about title tags and then their meta description here. This looks like it's just started off on the text that was on the home page. Again, just says services and then their brand name at the end, which is okay, but they left all this space out here. They could put more. So this could be done a lot better. So let's go back to our next step. All right, check rankings in the SERPs. There's the search results for keywords. If there are only a few keywords, you can do it manually. If you have lots of keywords, you can use what I use called Rank Tracker. It's part of a SEO Power Suite, but there's a lot of different applications out there you can use to check the rankings for websites. Okay, we're up here in Google again, and then we're going to do a search for El Paso electrician. And we got a couple ads up here. And anytime you see ads for a search term, that means it's probably a pretty good search term because people are buying ads for it. Then we have our maps results. This one is an ad. And then these are the three top ones in the map pack or the snack pack or whatever you want to call it. Then we have Yelp. We have the first actual website, Tovar Electric, Thumbtack, Angie's List, Home Advisor. Boy, it's getting harder and harder to get on the first page of Google because it's populated by a lot of these sites like Yelp, Thumbtack, Home Advisor, Better Business Bureau, Yellow Pages. So hats off to Tovar Electric for getting up this high. Here's Arts Electric, Electrical Contractors, Alpine. So they're not on the first page. Horizon, Indeed, Local Electricians. Okay, here's Beltran. So they're a little bit below the middle of the second page. Okay. Now the other ones, we can do Electrical Contractors El Paso, Texas. And whenever you see these coming up, that means these are actual terms people have typed into Google for search. So we're going to click on that. Now Beltran Electrical Contractors, they come out first in the maps, which is pretty good. Okay, so we're going to look down here. We got Angie's List, Home Advisor, some of the same websites as before, more ads. And then if you look down here, research is related, pay attention to these because these are terms people have actually typed into Google. That's why Google is saying you might want to use these as keywords. Residential electrician, that might be a good keyword. Electrician jobs, Beltran Electrical is looking for that too. So there's a lot of keywords here. Let's go to the next page. And I would suspect that they're going to be ranking about the same as the other one. So yes, 11, 12, 13, they're ranking 14th for electrical contractors. Okay, so kind of we know where they stand right now as far as ranking. So they're not bad, but they're not on the first page. So let's go back and look at our checklist. All right, the next thing, we're going to run Website Auditor. That's what I'm going to use to audit the website. We're going to look at site structure and then site audit. Okay, so I'm already in Website Auditor, and I have already entered the name of the URL. And it takes a few minutes to actually do run the audit on it, depending how big it is. This is not a big website. I think we said 13 pages. So it took a couple minutes to get to this screen. And it tells us there's one error, 13 warnings, and 15 info. So let's look at some of the problem areas first. And the first one we see is resources with 4XX status code. This has a 404. In other words, it couldn't find this page called Packages Maple, whatever that was. So it's not on there anymore. So this needs to be looked at. Maybe do a redirect. Let Google know that this page doesn't exist anymore. Eventually, they'll take it out of their index. Resources restricted from indexing. It looks like they're doing a search. Is disallowed by the robots text. I don't know why. I didn't know there's a search on there. Don't know why they would do that. Have to look at that. So this is set up right. So we get down to redirects. Everything's okay. They have HTTPS, so the site is secure. Canonicals. There's no error there. Mobile friendly, yes, that's good. 2 big pages, 2 of them. Their home page. Wow, 14.5 megabytes. That's a big page. I would almost guarantee that large page is because of that video that's running in the background. Because they don't have a lot of images. And then the other one is employment, apprenticeship, 13.9. I think they have that video running on that page too. So that would be something I would look at. That's going to slow down your site. Okay, we have some broken links. And that's that link, the page that doesn't exist. It's linking from that dashboard. So that's something that has to be looked at and checked. Empty alt text. That's for images. On the home page and on the apprenticeship page. And you see Squarespace, CDN, Contact Delivery Network. So alt text isn't a big ranking factor, but you want to include alt text with some keywords in there on all your images. Okay, empty meta descriptions, 10. All these pages have no meta description. So they're losing out. It's not a ranking factor, but they're losing out on getting more clicks. And what Google, if they don't find meta description, they'll just take whatever the text is that they see first. They'll usually use that as a meta description. And you want to write something that people are going to be compelled to click on. So they're losing out a lot there. So that's all the problems on this. So let's go back to our checklist. All right, next, exact match keywords. Put them in the title tag, H1, and within the first 100 words in the paragraph. So let's look how you would do that for this site. All right, for the title, and these are the tags that you would see in the HTML. Uh, this helps render the page, and this is what Google looks at, but we only see the part, oops, we only see this part, the text. So to put, if we're going to have our main keyword El Paso electrical contractors, you could say the best El Paso electrical contractors. Now I have this bolded, but you wouldn't put this bold in the actual title. I'm just highlighting the keywords. Then your H1, your first heading, use the same thing, the best El Paso electrical contractors. Now there might be some SEO people out there that says, oh, you can't put the same title tag in the title and in the H1, and I'm saying, why not? Tests have shown that that works. So I would do that. Then we get into paragraph text. You want to put the exact match keyword in there. For example, are you looking for the best electrical contractors in El Paso? Then take a look at Beltran Electrical. Something like that. So you have 3 exact match keywords. The title, H1, and the paragraph. But don't repeat titles in other pages. If you have this on title on the home page, don't use that title anywhere else. Every page should have unique titles. Okay, next we're going to go to content analysis, to the keyword map, and we're going to look at content optimization and technical factors. Okay, so we're going to go to content analysis, and here are all the content here, and the keyword map. I've already put in the keywords for Beltran Electrical, these two. So it's telling me it's a 24.8% optimization rate, 2 map keywords, 7 ranking keywords. So these are the ranking keywords. And tells what kind of traffic, what kind of difficulty they have. Now these say there's 0 searches and 0 traffic. And I'm not sure about that there's 0 traffic and 0 searches. One thing about some of these tracking sites that do tracking keywords, and a lot of these sites, or most of them, are not all that accurate. If you go through all the different ones, the keyword applications, and look at their results, they're all going to be different. And none of their stuff is really accurate. Because we don't have all the data that Google has. So I would use, I'm going to make another video about keyword research and where we can get some, maybe some better metrics than what they have here. Okay, so let's go back up to, page audit. Now I put in the keywords and it gave me a 24.8% optimization rate for the website. 3 errors, 5 warnings. So this is not good. And I can tell you right off the bat, they're getting low scores for not having the keywords that I put in the title. So here's the 2 keywords. So these are not in their title at all. And This is a TF IDF. I talked about that last week, but let's go take a look at that. Okay, this has to do with competition keywords. This is an acronym that's weighting. It's a weighting scheme that assigns each term on the web page a weight based on its term frequency, or TF, and inverse document frequency, the IDF. A higher score indicates a better use of the specified keyword. So the higher the number, the better it is. And you can see how your competition is doing with their keywords. So let's go back to the auditor. So here we are back in the auditor, and the title length is okay. There's no multiple title tags. Keywords and meta description, no, because they didn't include one. Meta description length is 0 because they didn't include one. Keywords in the body of the text, nope, we don't have that either. Keyword body count, 230 words. Probably need to have some more word count in there. Google says word count is not a ranking factor, but you got to look at your competition to see what their keyword count is, not keyword count, word count is. Keywords in H1, none. No keywords in the H2, the H6, bold, italics, which are not a big deal anymore. Keywords in anchor text, 0. Keywords in alt text, 0. Empty alt text, yeah, we don't have any alt text for the home page. Open graph markup, but they're only using title. So it's recommended to have at least 3: title, description, and image on every page of the website. This is for your social networks: Facebook, Twitter, Google, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram. They use those. Okay, so not a very good score, mainly because keywords are not in the title, keywords are not in meta description, keywords are not in the body or in H1. That's what's bringing down that score. And that can be easily fixed. Okay, let's go back to the checklist. Okay, next we're going to look at domain strength, domain information, indexing in search engines, backlinks, and social media. So let's go back to the auditor. And we'll go to the TF-IDF. And this shows the keywords that they found on the website, and recommendations based on the competition. They have the competition down here. Now, you can't choose who your competitors are. Like Yelp, I would not consider a competitor, of course. Angie's List or Home Advisor. But some of these other ones, yes. So let's look at Beltran Electrical page. So the number of competitors, 8. The keyword count for electrical services is 4. On the page, we have 0. Okay, so a minimum TF-IDF of 0.11, maximum 0.59. The average is 0.28. So we need to add some keywords for electrical services. Electrical contractors, we have 0. Electrical contractor, average is 3, we have 0. Rights reserved, I wouldn't mess with that. Customer service, we're okay on that. So a lot of these other ones, we're okay. So this looks like these are the main ones that we want to add some keywords to. And it doesn't look like the competition is really targeting this a lot. So we should be able to beat them pretty good. Now down here it gives you a graphical representation of the keywords. So if I click on here, electrical contractors, it highlights over here. And you can see what the max TF-IDF, average and minimum is graphically. And if you click on one of the competitors, you can see how they're doing graphically with the keywords. Now we click on multi-words and then single words. So they're saying use more of Paso and El Paso. I don't know about that, but contractors, residential, the keyword count average is 5 and 8, and we only have 1 and 0. So there's room for improvement. So this is pretty handy to show you what the competition is and what you need to do. Okay? For different types of keywords. So you can spend a lot of time in here looking at all this. Okay, then we're going to go to get finally to domain strength. Now, domain strength, like I explained last week, they have their own domain strength, this website auditor. It's from 0 to 1. It's a complex quality metric calculated based on numerous key SEO factors, including domain age, backlinks, and social signals. So let's look down here. This is not a very good score. Let's look down here. The age of their website, 5 years, 11 months, almost 6 years. So they've been around. Indexing in the search engine, 13 pages in Google, 10 in Yahoo, only 9 in Bing. And then we get backlinks. They don't have many backlinks. 2. Both of them are no follow. And there's always a big discussion. Should you have no follow? Should you have do follow? Or how many you should have? It's not really a big deal. I wouldn't fret over it. Or lose sleep over. Linking domains is 1. 2 IPs and 2 what we call C blocks. Means it's coming from the same general server. Okay, so that 2 backlinks is probably not doing a lot for them at all. Facebook, they do have a Facebook, only 6 signals, so they're not posting a lot on Facebook. Okay. So this gives us a better idea of what this website is, where their strengths and weaknesses are. So as somebody that does SEO and web design for a living, this gives me a better idea to make a plan. If this was a client of mine, a plan for working out what they need to do to rank better and to get more sales. Let's go back to the checklist. Here's some other factors. Schema markup. It's not a ranking factor as of 2020. It may be in the future. I don't know. The exception being product schema. There's all types of schemas. In other words, product pages and e-commerce sites. You can use the Google structured data tool to check on your structured data. You can also look in Search Console. I don't have access to this company's Search Console. Internal linking. This is not in the auditing software. You can use Google Search Console to check your internal links. They're just as important as the external linking or backlinks. So this is Search Console, and this is for my site, Blue Lacy SEO. You can see the total internal links, 586, and all the linking pages. This is just a small snapshot of it, and then how many links there are on the site over here. Internal linking, in case you don't know, is linking internally inside the same website from different pages. Usually using anchor text, words on the page, linking to other pages. That's very powerful. Tells Google what your important pages are. I may do a whole video on internal links maybe later. Okay, we get to bounce rate. Bounce rate is a metric. It is the number of single page visits where the visitor leaves the site without continuing to browse other pages. Now, you can find out your bounce rate in Google Analytics, Audience, and Overview. So let me go there. This is a screenshot of one of the site's clients that I manage. And it has a bounce rate of 58.82. So what does that mean? Well, I gave you the definition, but how do you interpret that? You also want to look at average session duration over here, 1:11, number of sessions per user. It gives all these different stats and whether it's going up or down. And then the number of new visitors compared to returning visitors, what you have there. So let's look at this a little bit closer. Okay, bounce rate doesn't matter. Well, I put yes and no. So before I tell you about that, what is a good bounce rate? Well, according to clicktail.com, blogs tend to have a bounce rates of 70 to 90%. Why so high? Well, blog posts are long articles, usually longer articles. Somebody gets on your blog page, finds your article, maybe they link directly to it in a search. They read your article, they found out what they're looking for, and they leave. That counts as a bounce. So that's why it's so high. Content sites about 40 to 60%, and service sites only 10 to 30%. That seems kind of low. But that's what their research told them. All right, this is a metric that Google tracks, but is bounce rate a ranking factor? That's been a lot of discussion about that. I don't think it is, simply because it's not a very reliable factor. Because, like I just said, some people may get on your site, find a page, maybe it's your home page, found out what they were looking for, and left without going to any other pages. So was that good or bad? We don't know the searcher intent. That metric by itself doesn't tell them how long the user stayed on that page either. So it's difficult for Google to use that as a ranking factor. In fact, when I give reports to my clients, I don't even include bounce rate. Because I know you're going to have questions. Well, what is this too high? What should it be? Should I be worried about it? And the answer is, unless it's unusually high, I wouldn't really worry about it. Okay, then we get to off-page ranking factors. Social. Social is important. Google tracks social clicks, shares on your pages, and your social platforms linked to your website. So it's important to have open graph or OG tags on your website like I showed. And you can use Google Analytics. Go to Acquisition, Social, and Overview. So this is what it looks like. A screenshot of Acquisition, Social, Overview. So shows the number of conversions. This hasn't been set up with a money value on it. You can do that. How many sessions? Sessions via social referral, conversions, all kind of metrics here that you can look at on your social. Okay, social reviews, very important for local. These can come from Google My Business, Yelp, Facebook, etc. Reviews are very important because they build authority and trust. A lot of people, before they buy a product or a service from you, they're going to look at reviews. They're going to look at reviews from all different areas like the Google My Business and the Facebook and so forth. So make sure when you have reviews on these areas that you respond to these views. Okay, backlinks, they're a ranking factor. You can use tools like Hrefs, SEMrush, or Moz to track backlinks. You can also look in Search Console under links and external links to find your links. Okay, some good points here. Never pay for links. It's against the Google policy, against the rules. Don't worry about bad spammy links to your site unless you created them. You can use Google's disavow tool if you want to disavow those links. I didn't worry about all the bad links coming to your site because you have no control over that, and Google knows that. Otherwise, your competition could just spam you to death with bad links going to your site. So backlinks are important, but they're hard to obtain. Good backlinks from authority sites, which count more. So I don't do any active backlinks for my client sites. I like to get them naturally. So you can check your backlinks and mentions. You can the way you can do that is search for your website's entity by typing in your URL without the .com or .net or .biz or whatever it is. If you don't see your website in the #1 position, then something is wrong. So let's go ahead and do that for Beltron Electrical. So here I've put in Beltron ELP without the .com, and their site shows up first, so that's good. And here are all the other pages on here. They have their Facebook. All right. Zoom info. El Paso bid. I guess they bid on projects. Silex. LinkedIn. Buzzfile. So you can see all their listings here of where they're mentioned. Every time they're mentioned, they got 72 results. So you can look through there. This is their Google My Business. Now it looks like they only have maybe one picture. Yes. They have one picture and it's a street view, which is not good. They should have their own pictures, a bunch of pictures, at least 10 or 15 pictures of their site here, jobs that they're doing on site. Adds relevance to the Google My Business page. Google likes a lot of pictures. And get back over here. So they have some reviews, not a lot. Now here's a bad review. Lacking in customer service, no care for people. So they got a bad review. You need to respond. This company needs to respond to all reviews, even the good ones. Well, why were they lacking customer service? Well, if you got an explanation, put it in there. If you did something wrong, admit it. Just say, we're sorry, we're going to make it right. Something like that. So this looks bad for the company when you have bad reviews. You're not going to please everyone. Maybe they did some little something that was wrong, or maybe it was big. I don't know. But you need to respond to all reviews, whatever they are. Okay, so the last thing I want to go over with you is about the page speed. And we looked at the page speed of this site. And I went ahead and went to GT Metrics, typed in the URL, and they don't have good scores. Page speed score is a D, 68%. Here's the areas that they need work in. Optimize their images. I don't think their images are optimized at all. Defer parsing of JavaScript. That can be something that can be worked on. I don't know exactly what you can do within Squarespace. A cache validator. This is on the server side, so there's not much you can do. And leverage browser caching. I'm sure they should have some type of caching solution, but it's not working for them right now. And all these other ones are pretty good. This is what's slowing down the site. Then we get to the why slow. This came up from Yahoo. That's why it's called why slow. Adds expired headers. This is on the server side. And reduce DNS lookups. That's on content. A lot of these things can be fixed on WordPress sites, but I don't know about Squarespace. So the fully loaded time in desktop is 14.2 seconds. That is slow. And I bet you it's because of that video that runs on the home page. Their page size is pretty big and they have a lot of requests. That slows down things also. So this is on GT Metrics. I'll put that link in the description so you can test your own site. Now this is tested from Vancouver, Canada. So if you're closer to this city, you're going to get better results. El Paso is a long way from Vancouver. So you have to take that into consideration of where your server actually is from the company that's hosting your site. So that makes a little bit of difference. Okay, so I hope this gives you a better idea of how to do a professional audit and analysis of a website. I didn't do a keyword test on this. I'll do that in a later video. So I hope you got something out of this. Everybody be blessed, and I'll see you next time.